going on, guys? This week we have the king of the cold calls, my man Carlos, the man so nice they named him twice, Charles and Carlos Fontanez. Check it out. If you're into wholesaling or flipping and you want a cold call, you're not going to want to miss this one.
Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Smells Like Cat Pee with Handsome. I'm your host, Charles Weinraub, a.k.a. the Handsome Home Buyer, a.k.a. Captain Permit, a.k.a. You know my third name? You're Spanish. It's going to sound good if you say it.
El Blanco something?
What?
I don't know.
White guy?
Isn't that what it is?
No.
What?
It's the marvelous Jew.
El Judío Maravilloso.
Yeah. El Judío Maravilloso.
That's right. I'm like, Blanco something? Sorry, that was racist.
That was a little bit racist. But speaking of Blanco, you know who's Blanco? Captain Permit. 516-513-8838. And if you need plans, if you need permits, if you need anything permit related, not in the boroughs, because the boroughs are fucking nuts, bro. I don't know how you fuck with that shit. That and like upstate, you're all over the place.
I'm going through it right now, trust me.
In the boroughs?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. It's a hot mess. You're like upstate. You're like in the Catskills flipping houses and shit. I'm like, I don't know where I saw. I think I saw it on Instagram, but we'll get into that in a second. But if you need permits, we got you. And obviously, I'm the Handsome Home Buyer. If you have a house that smells like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, human waste floating past the basement steps, NPLs, land, commercial property, I don't care. You want me to 3D print your house? Hell, we're 3D printing houses right now. I'm quick. I'm easy. I'm a good time. I'm going to buy it. 516-777-SOLD. And this podcast, like every podcast, is brought to you by, do you know who this is brought to you by?
Captain Permit?
No.
Who's it brought to you by?
Cardinal Financial. Specifically, not just Cardinal Financial, Sal Rizzolo at Cardinal Financial. When you do deals, do you have a mortgage guy screen your buyers?
No, I don't.
You need to do that. Bro, let me tell you something. Changed my goddamn life. About 2 months ago, I had 3 deals die in the first week. If 3 deals die in a week that were all under contract for 60 days or more, one of the buyers lost their down payment, had a commitment, and couldn't close.
Wow.
Mortgage loan. Have you had this happen to you before?
No, not yet.
You haven't had this happen to you?
Thankfully.
Freaking nightmare. Ever since I started doing this, Sal reviews all of them. I haven't had any deals fall apart. If he gets the loan, fantastic. He's closing for me in 3 weeks. If he doesn't get the loan, at least the loan's closed and we don't have a problem. But before that, it was a friggin' nightmare. Once like the volume starts to get crazy, all of a sudden, it's like they just pull any guy off the street to be a loan officer who has no idea what they're doing.
All right.
Guys, like everything's great. I find out like 60 days down the road, there's a bankruptcy, there's a this, there's that.
So Cardinal Financial.
Cardinal Financial, Sal Rizzolo.
Cool.
I'm gonna hook you up. So with us today, I feel like we're old friends.
I mean, yeah, we could say that.
The thing
we don't
that-
hang out as often as we should, but yeah.
Well, we don't hang out because you don't want to hang out with me. And the only way you'll hang out with me is if I invite you on my podcast, because even like a month ago, you're like, bro, we're going to hang out for real. I'm doing 75 hard right now. I'm freaking getting jacked. By the way, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can do it. Let's do a side, like right here. Let's do one of those side-by-side pictures of like him now and him before. You look freaking great. You're down 25 pounds, plus a whole bunch of that turned into muscle, which you know weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So the transformation is crazy. But you look great, and you're like, dude, we're going out. I'm going to Brooklyn. I'm going to take you one of the spots. And you didn't call me.
I haven't gone out.
You're lying. That's a lie.
No.
You're jet setting around the country, going to like all these like workshops and events and like building your network and getting ready for world domination. So this is Carlos Fontanez.
Okay.
How did that sound?
It sounded pretty good. I like that.
How would you say it?
I just say Carlos Fontanez, but Carlos Fontanez sounds pretty good too.
When I say it, you sound like a bachatero or like a reggaetonero or like a what?
I love how you can roll your reggaetonero.
Dude,
Listen,
you and I have the same soul.
Listen, we kind of do. Yeah,
I might look a little whiter.
You're definitely a brother from another mother over here.
Fuck yeah. But yeah. So listen, I feel like I've known you for a very long time. I'm very proud of you, bro. You've come a long way.
Thank you.
Obviously, so give people the like 30,000 foot kind of 30-second overview of who you are and what you do.
I guess I would say I'm Carlos Fontanez and
Fontanez. Do this. I actually can't.
I'm Carlos Fontanez. Basically, what's the 30-second version of myself? I'm a real estate investor, just like yourself. focus on distressed properties, just a little bit more broad, and wider range in New York.
Yeah. So you've been in the game. You've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah.
You worked acquisitions at a company, and then you decided to go and branch off on your own and do your own thing.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people that are out there that that are in the space, that are employed. I guess I want to talk about first the transition for you from working for somebody to then like going into your own business and then having to build that. Because I think a lot of people, and this is like every business, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like just with you. This is real estate agents that want to become real estate brokers. Plumbers that want to own a plumbing company. I think people don't realize like the struggle of really what goes into it.
Dude, definitely not. I didn't. Yeah. And it's an everyday struggle.
It never ends.
No, it never ends.
It's ultimate responsibility.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So what did you think it was going to be like? What are some of the challenges that you faced? What are some of the victories? Like, tell me about the experience. Because it's been going on for like 2 years, right?
Yeah, just about. I kind of went off on my own in 2019. But I think the biggest thing, I know for me and from a couple of other people I speak to, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go out on my own. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get more free time because if I do it on my own, I get more free time and I can make my own rules.
Is that really what people say?
Some people think that, you think you're working for yourself. So it's like, oh, I can, that's what it is. Because when you're working for someone, it's like you're under their clock and all that stuff. And it's just like when you do it on your own, there is no clock. Which
bro.
In essence,
the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah, it
bro.
doesn't stop. Right. So it's like you're actually putting in more work, more hours, more pain, more failure, more of all those things.
Money, responsibility, everything.
So you quickly realize that, oh shit, well, I'm here now. I'm gonna have to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think the transition was good. It was something that I contemplated for a while though.
I'm sure.
Like, where I came from, right?
Yeah.
I was with a company. They were good. I was there for a while. I really loved it there. They loved me. And it's hard to leave because when you're ingrained into like comfortable, but you're also ingrained into like a certain environment, a culture, and everything like that. So it's like, and you're making good money. It's not like, I'm struggling and, couldn't pay my bills or anything like that. I was making pretty good money, but you get to a point where it's like, there's that constant ticking in your head. Like, you gotta get further. You gotta go take that leap. Yeah.
Like I had the itch to get a motorcycle and I like fought it because I think they're super dangerous. And then when I was 25, I got a motorcycle license, got a motorcycle, ended up getting rid of it like 3 years later. But once you have that itch, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
And there are some people that are they're just built to be entrepreneurs. They're not built to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And they're both good. It's just a matter of, in certain situations, as employers, you have to help people develop. They're helping you develop your business, and then it gets to a point where sometimes they have to go and do their own thing, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because there isn't nothing wrong with that, and I think that there are some companies that don't like that.
No, of course not.
And I think that if someone puts in a good, 3, 5, 6, 7 years or more, whatever it is.
How long were you there? You were there a long time.
Yeah, I think probably over 6 years.
Yeah.
But I think if someone is loyal to you for that long and they put in that pain, I think that you're basically helping them build up to where they'll be able to spread their wings, and when that time comes, you have to see them off and be happy for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to say that you don't feel the loss. It's like,
oh no, for sure.
But at the same time, it's there's a certain beauty to that.
Yeah, 100%.
So your business focuses. I don't even know how you're doing this. So you're based out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, my office is in Brooklyn.
And you're doing acquisitions everywhere. You're doing stuff on Long Island. You're doing stuff in the boroughs.
I do stuff in the.
You're doing stuff in are you doing stuff in Connecticut?
Yeah.
You're doing stuff in like Dutchess County.
Yeah.
Like, are you doing stuff in Jersey?
Not yet.
What the hell goes on, bro?
You know what? I feel like, to me, like if there's a deal somewhere made to be had, like as long as I can figure it out, why not? right? These deals that I get, like a lot of the times so in Connecticut, things like that comes from my networking, right? So people bring me deals or like, let's JV it.
So you're not chasing.
So I don't necessarily chase deals in Connecticut, but people bring them to me to facilitate it.
Where are you chasing? Like where are you
chasing? New York, right? Long Island, Nassau, Suffolk, and then Westchester, Yonkers, New Rochelle, Orange County, Putnam County,
Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island.
But I mean, you know what it is too? I think what led me up in those areas was that there's not a lot of people that do what like you and I do as good as we do it.
Oh, in those areas.
Areas.
When you leave the immediate, you're talking about like, Putnam, Orange County, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. There's guys that do it, but not to the way we can do it. If you meet with someone, or if they meet with someone and then you meet next, I mean,
no, they're in love.
They're going with the handsome home buyer.
That's it.
All day
they're
long.
In love. No, there's a lot of instances, and again, and this is not a bragging thing. This is so people understand. People will go with me at a lower number because they
100%.
Like and trust me.
Yep.
Or they will, at the very least, at the end, say, "Hey, listen, here are all my offers. Beat it by 5 cents, so I can go with you because I like dealing with you."
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yep. And I feel like, in that market, I saw that we could crush it.
Yeah.
Just because of our ability.
What are the logistics like over there? Before we get into that, let me ask you a quick question because this is going to bother me. Off topic. Do you moisturize? Because you fucking glisten, bro. Holy shit.
I do moisturize.
Dude, what do
I have
you
a whole
use?
fucking regimen.
Do
bro.
you?
Yes.
God damn it.
I can curse on this podcast.
I'm sitting over here. What?
Can I curse on the podcast?
Yeah, there's no rules on this podcast.
Just making sure.
Bro, you are glistening from across the room right now. I'm like, this guy looks he looks like he just popped out the womb. He is like moist as hell.
Dude, you're crazy.
Right?
Dude, how do you I can only imagine. How do you
deal with this?
I can only imagine
guy?
what your life is like on a daily basis dealing with the handsome home buyer.
No.
It's
here comes a one-liner.
Especially with the energy this guy has. I mean, ever since I've known you, you've been on 1,000.
Yeah.
Every single time. You're never less than 1,000.
No,
You're always on 1,000.
That's what
and you don't drink, you don't smoke. It's fucking. You're like, why?
I'm doped up flying until the moment I hit my bed, and then I'm like,
dude. Speaking of the wound, you probably came out the wound running home,
yelling, screaming, talking. My mother was like, "Shut up!" Like, shut up. Teachers, my whole life, shut up. Yeah, no. Yeah. You're gonna give me the skincare regime, right? Is it SkinCeuticals? I've been using SkinCeuticals. My skins haven't looked this great in a long time.
Good skin.
No, I know. I have good skin. I have
bro,
good, but you, bro.
Yeah. No, I use a face wash, Kiehl's. I use a lot of Kiehl's.
Yeah.
I use something called,
It's genetics too.
I guess.
Your parents probably look fantastic.
I mean, my parents are no longer with us, but yeah.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, dude.
It's all right.
I'm sure they did though. You have good genes.
They did. When they were here, they did.
You have good genes. You definitely have good genes.
Yeah. I'm Puerto Rican, bro. What do you? I mean, we don't crack.
No. You look fantastic. You're like 38, but looking 25.
Feeling 25.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt this video, guys, but I wanted to tell you about my free text platform. People are texting me all day, every day with real estate related questions, regardless of what they are, on MPLs, construction, fix and flip, rentals. You hear from me personally. Love to engage with you guys. Want to hear your thoughts on what content you want to see and help out in any way I can. Here's the number. Shoot me a text.
All right, back to Putnam County.
Yeah. I forgot what you asked me.
So you were saying that you essentially, there's nobody up there that's operating on the level that you are.
Yeah, I know a couple guys.
So it's like
for sure
shooting fish in a paper cup.
I know a couple guys, but other than them, it's like.
So what do you? So you're focusing on but what are the logistics like? So are you wholesaling most of those things? Or are you actually doing?
No,
them?
most of those I wholesale unless the deals. I mean, listen, dude. Let me tell you something. I mean, these deals that you could get up there are like.
It's that crazy?
It's.
Because there's just nobody. There's no competition.
Just got a house now. Gonna get it at around just under $100,000. ARV is like 465 to 470.
What?
In Newburgh.
How?
In
Why?
Newburgh.
Where? How?
In Newburgh.
What?
Yeah.
You're not going to renovate that thing, are you, though?
I don't know. There's so many exit strategies now because we're getting it for so cheap.
But what's the? Is this an?
Bro,
is this an hour?
It's like driving to Suffolk. It's not.
Wow. Is this an outlier? But is that an outlier deal, or is that like a real?
That's a real deal.
No, meaning do those things come through half a dozen a month, or is this like the one every quarter that like?
No, they come. I have other deals. I just closed a deal in Monroe, New York.
At 20% of the ARV. That's what I'm saying.
We got it at around 50 something.
How does that even?
And then we wholesaled it for.
How does that even?
And we wholesaled it for I think like 125 or something.
How does that even happen?
It's.
This is why I was saying to you. Remember we were having this conversation?
Yeah.
So and I'm like, bro, if I could turn back the clock and change my life, I'm like, I would never pick up a hammer again. Well, not me personally, because I don't even know how to hold one. But I would never do renovation work. I would never do it.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what's crazy that we had that conversation because I had called you about a deal or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like asking your opinion on it, and I was like, damn shit, he's right. And you know what it is like. You've been doing this for a very long time, way longer than me, right?
No,
so
6 years. I've been in this less than you have, bro.
No, but on like you doing it, like you remember I came from working for someone.
Oh yeah.
So you've been doing it for a way longer time than I have on your own, right?
Yes.
So like, I'm still learning. I'm only 2 years in, right? What did I say? It takes 5 years to build a solid foundation.
3 to 5 years to actually start to build a business.
Yeah, right. So I'm learning every day, and it's like fixing and flipping is sexy, right? Or so you think, right? It's like
it's a freaking pain in the ass, bro.
It could be, right? It could be.
It's cool, but it's a pain in the ass.
There's a lot of things that come with it that makes it a little easier.
But I don't even know.
But now it's like when I do my numbers, I'm like, wait a minute, I could either wholesale it or
wholesale the shit out of that,
right? Or make, I don't know, maybe an extra 20, 30 grand in 6 months.
Doesn't make sense.
And then, like you said,
not worth
permit problems, if like stop work orders, all that stuff. So it's like now I really analyze a deal. Now I analyze the deals to a T. Like if it's not really making sense to fix and flip, I'm just like, nope.
Bro, you don't even want what you want to do is if you want to be in real estate, you want to build long-term generational wealth. To build long-term generational wealth, you need to buy rental properties.
Yes.
You need to generate revenue to be able to buy rental properties. How you do that doesn't matter. Do that the easiest, quickest, stress-free way. And if that means picking up the phone to connect a buyer and a seller and selling a piece of paper and making a sick chunk of change, that's what it is. Because I have 6 crews of guys running around on my payroll right now, right? Trucks, vans, workman's
all that
comp,
crazy stuff, yeah.
Foreman, 2 in-house people. I mean, bro, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I have an accounting staff of 3 people just to keep track of all the shit that we are spending money on because it's that insane.
Yeah.
It is banana town. We will spend in construction, like now we're doing new construction, so it's crazy. My dad got we're building a house in South America. My dad just got the lumber order. Yeah, I got the lumber order. I'm like, yeah, what is it? $89,000 for the lumber for one house.
Dude,
that goes out the window in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, you also strip your houses to the bones.
Well, this is a new build, so this is ground up.
Okay,
so that's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we strip them to the bones because most of the stuff we get, like there's no, and this is something I've tested also, right? And you can agree to disagree, or maybe in a year from now you'd be like, you know what, Charles, I think you're fucking right. It's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
Like all or nothing meaning either you're stripping the thing to the bones and going, or just put it back on the market, or like what I call pump and dump it. Just get rid of it, right?
Paint carpet back on the market.
Yeah, just clean it out, do 2 or 3 different things, make sure the house is mortgageable, get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Because anything in the middle doesn't really work in my experience. You end up spending close to the same amount of money. It's a pain in the ass. You don't get the same product at the end. Like you can't be like skim coating walls and trying to pull off wallpaper. It doesn't work.
No, yeah.
The electric's 40 years old. It's jacked up.
Yeah.
You're trying to like snake wires around. It's a hot mess. You might as well just gut the thing and go.
Make it easy. Yeah, it's faster that way. Yeah.
It's faster. It's easier. You get a better product.
So, answer me this: new build versus.
Okay. What's
gut
easier?
Renovate.
What's easier?
New build. Would you say new build?
So new build. So there's good. So
I haven't done a new build, by the way, but from
new builds are actually easier. They are easier. So if you have a good general contractor who's going to run the job well, or a good construction manager who's going to run the job well, or you are running the job and you have good subs and you can make it line up, there's less room for error because it's like, yo, here are the plans. We're working off the plans.
Yeah.
Everything's clean, whatever. Whereas flips, but the new construction does take longer. The permit process on all this crap sucks. Takes forever. The towns are a mess. Every single one of them, except like the little villages. But yeah, but here's the thing. If you want to do a lot of business, it's not one thing over another. It's everything. Like I do everything. Like let's talk about what I'm doing right now. I'm buying houses and I'm buying non-performing notes and foreclosing on the people and taking the houses and turning them into rentals.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Negotiating deed and lieu and shit. I'm buying houses in areas where I can turn them into rentals. I'm doing that with multifamily and single family, right? We're flipping houses. We're taking, like just gut renovating. We're taking houses, throwing dormers on them. We're building new construction homes. We're doing subdivisions, 3 lots, 2 lots, 25 lots. We're 3D printed houses. I bought a gas station, which we're gonna bring back an old retail fast food franchise. I'm doing an assisted living facility down the...
Which fast food franchise? No way.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, you're opening up a...
I'm not going to own it. I'm just going to own the real estate.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing an assisted living facility down the block. We're 3D printing houses all over the... We do everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, people don't have to be that crazy, but if you want to do steady business, you need to take in all that stuff because otherwise, like if you just want to flip houses, you can't do freaking 70, 80, 100. Like, look at that freaking wall over there.
Dude,
it's
that's how you do that many. How you do that many is crazy.
Yeah.
I do have fun doing it though.
It's a
like
lot
I just
of
did
fun.
one in Mount Sinai. Like
it's cool.
I like, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but I like the design of it. Like
yeah.
I like doing.
I mean,
stuff
you're a
like,
slob, bro. I mean, look at your socks right now.
I mean,
you look good. You've always had flavor. You have.
Yeah, I like the I like doing that stuff though. Picking out the cool the trimmings and all.
I don't.
Stuff.
I hire a designer.
Of course, yeah.
I hire a designer.
Yeah.
So now we have, as of like a year ago, I'm like, I want to up the level of what we're doing. So 2 years ago, we hired a designer, and she designs every house.
Yeah.
So now we've gotten to the point where
I know you're talking about.
It was so crazy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we got she gave us a standard. It got so crazy that we have a standard template, and anything that's first time home buyer. So if it's gonna sell for like $550 or less, we go with this standard template of finishes.
Yeah.
Anything above that, she designs unique to that house.
Gotcha.
And that's how we do it because we're having such supply chain issues from getting stuff in. So that's been a problem.
Let me ask you a question. What are your and this is your podcast. I'm over here asking you questions.
Nah, it's all good.
Works.
See, if we freaking hung out more, you could ask me questions all the time. But you're like, yeah, we'll have dinner. Not.
We will. 100%. I'm not on 75 hard anymore. I mean, listen, I am vegetarian now. I have been. Don't. Come on.
Dude, I don't want to eat like a.
I could go anywhere.
All right, I don't want to eat a jackfruit steak. I want to eat a steak, bro. Like,
you tell people you're vegetarian, they're like, I can't hang out with you.
If I eat bacon in front of you or something, you're gonna be pissed?
Absolutely. I won't be pissed. I'll be drooling probably.
Oh, okay. You won't be uncomfortable though, right?
No,
you won't be like this guy,
dude. Listen, I did it
animals.
for 75 hard, and I just haven't gotten off of it. So I've been liking it so far. So.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, it takes 75 days to form a habit. 25 days to form a habit.
They say 21, but
Yeah, there we go.
I just read the book Limitless, and apparently it's really more than that. But yeah.
Whatever it's doing, it's working.
Hey, I'm trying. So you flip all these houses, right?
Yeah.
And like the conversations I like to have now is like, where things are going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, rates is ticking up, right? Like, what do
What do I think's gonna happen?
What do you think's gonna happen? Only because like right now they say 1 in every 7 houses owned by an investor or an investment firm.
Everyone's worried about that. All I get is messages like, all these investment firms are taking all our houses. Like,
well, they say so. Hold on. So the projected statistic is that 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 homes by like 2025 are going to be owned by investors or institutions.
So what question are you asking me? Are you asking me where I think the market's going?
Yeah. Like, what do you like? Do you think that is going to happen? And do you think that where the market would go if that did happen?
So it's like, the market only goes someplace based on people's behavior and the opportunity that it's creating for investors.
Okay.
So what do I mean by that? I think investors are gobbling up those houses for a couple different reasons: an affordability issue and a lifestyle issue. I think more people now don't want to own a home than wanted to in the past. Bro, I do 70, 80, 100, 110 houses a year.
Rent.
I rent.
Yeah.
I don't want to own a home. For me, it's like a ball and chain type of scenario. It is nothing more than a forced savings account, in my opinion. Now, people be like, "F you, Charles, that's bullshit." But if you add up all the expenses plus the opportunity cost associated with having a house versus having that capital and lower bills. Now, people are going to say rent's really high. Yeah, rent is really high, but it's not the mortgage and the taxes. It's everything else. Oh, the roof is leaking. The maintenance, the blah blah. The gas. It gets crazy on a house. So to answer your question, I think trends are changing. I think people are more mobile because they can work all over the place.
And I think that since COVID, that's going to be like permanent at this point.
But even prior, after the Great Recession, people's mindsets started to change. People didn't want to own real estate the same way because they were traumatized from what went on. Now combine that with the ability for you to be mobile and work anywhere, and there you go. So big PE firms and stuff like that are taking advantage of that. And they're buying up these houses because it's it's more of like a renter society. As far as where I think the market's going, my prediction for the market is, I predicted the COVID thing, by the way.
You what?
I predicted the COVID thing.
What do you mean you predicted it?
All right, and this is verifiable. Well, I didn't predict COVID, but so this.
What?
I'll tell you the story. And I wish I had this shit on. I said this on camera, and I can't get the people to send it to me. But I remember I was standing. It was February. When did COVID hit? 2020, right? Yes.
2020, like
March.
March it like officially.
March.
I was actually just coming back from Arizona.
February into March.
Hit,
okay.
Yeah.
2018. I was standing next to D.
Okay.
It was February. January was a crazy month. I bought 10 houses in January, right? I turned to D in February. I looked at him, standing right there. Matt was on the phone, and I'm like, it's over, bro. Matt started hysterically laughing. D's like, nah.
This was when in January?
February of 2018. I'm like, it's over.
Oh, this was 2018.
18. I'm like, I feel it. It's over. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just felt the shift. I felt it. Now, at that point, bro, I'm telling you, and this goes back to a really quick story that I'll tell you in a second. So they start laughing at me, and I'm like, Q4, end of the year of 2019, something's going to happen. Now, I didn't know that a virus was going to sweep the globe and shut everybody down. But when you're doing the kind of volume that I'm doing, you feel the ebbs and flows of the market.
Yeah.
So everybody laughed at me, and then freaking February, March, COVID hit. Now, leading up to COVID in 2019, I was pulling back. I wasn't taking a lot of deals because I didn't like them. I didn't like the market. I didn't know the way it looked. So I told my private investors, I sent them all videos, and I'm like, listen, we got to chill. COVID hit. Everybody lost institutional financing. I bought 17 houses in freaking March because nobody had money. And I did. And then those houses went up, right? The market took off while we were renovating them. The market took off.
You definitely made a lot of money during COVID.
So we crushed it.
Yeah.
Now listen, I'm not an oracle. I just felt that shit. Yeah. Now, there was a guy when I first got into it, I flipped like one house or something, or I haven't flipped any houses yet. And he wanted to fund all my deals. He just kind of saw something in me, and I didn't like him. He was a slimy guy, but that's not the point. The point is, I'm like, listen, like the one thing that makes me nervous is if I'm going to flip, 100 houses a year, 50 houses a year, 200 houses a year, what happens if the market goes to shit while I have all these houses? And he's like, if you're doing the amount of houses that you say you're going to do, you're going to know. Like, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
And that's really what happened. Yeah. So in a situation we are right now, in my opinion, and this is weird. This is just like, because I don't have a TV, so I'm kind of detached from the world.
You definitely are. So basically, by the way,
this is all
hold
feeling.
On. I'm changing your name to Charles, the handsome psychic.
The handsome psychic.
Yeah, the handsome psychic.
I'm not. If this goes this way, then we could do it, but it's going to take some time. So my feeling is this year, I'm not saying that things aren't going to slow down and plateau, but this year is going to be a good year for us. Next year, going to be a good year for us.
Really?
Yeah. The following year, and I'll tell you what still going to be good.
2020.
So we're in 2022. 2022,
so
good.
2025, you think is going to go?
2022, we're good. 2023, we're good. 2024, if you're doing any like real big projects, like I wouldn't be buying subdivisions at that point. I would be liquidating any of the bigger shit in that year because I think it could potentially start to get dicey with real high rates at the second half of that year. And then the next year, you're just waiting for Armageddon. There is no inventory, right? There is insane demand, and there is no quick moving mechanism that is going to get more inventory into this system, period. They're still not really foreclosing. There's not a ton of that. The freaking government's a mess, backed up. There's not enough judges to process this crap.
Well,
there's all kinds of COVID shit.
They did just say foreclosure
filings.
Yeah, rose. Yeah.
Well, what is that?
I'm just,
bro. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You've done. Is it safe to say you've been involved with a short sale or two in your life?
I'd say so.
What's the oldest short sale you've ever been a part of? How long?
The oldest?
Yeah. How long were the people not paying?
Yeah,
their
no.
for?
Listen, I'm not. I do agree.
You see where I'm going with
I
this?
did a short sale. The guy was in
18 years, like
bro, from like 2008, 2009. Yeah.
Wait, that you just did recently? I'm talking about in your life, like.
Oh, in my life, yeah.
In
No,
your career,
even recently, I did one.
Was it 8 years deep, 10 years deep, 15 years deep, 18 years deep?
100%.
You see my point?
I see your point.
How is this stuff going to get out into the market fast enough?
I know, I agree.
With a legal system like that,
Yeah.
to be able to satisfy some type of demand. Now, this
Yeah.
is New York we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So
Yeah.
it's going to take time. And then something's ultimately going to happen. But inflation is definitely an issue. Rates are going to end up definitely being an issue for people. It's knocking people out right now at a certain level, but it's not like they keep raising rates because people keep buying. Bro, I put 3 houses on the market last week, right? One of them is in St. James, getting action, offers coming in, right? 2 in Bellport. Like Bellport, you're going to get shot at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday, Bellport, right?
Yeah.
I can't say that.
No, you can.
I mean, it's the truth. I have a house that got shot up twice.
For real?
Yeah,
Dude. See,
caution tape, all
you
that.
know what, when you do the amount of business, you I guess you have the ability to run into more instances like that.
It's law of averages.
Yeah, exactly.
Law of averages.
I'm not there yet where
I've done
a house got shot up.
twice, 2 times.
Crazy.
So I just put a house on the market over there, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It was originally set up for a rental, but the numbers aren't really working that great. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I could sell it. Bro, Bellport, North Bellport. You know North Bellport, right?
Okay.
You know it.
Yeah.
Okay. 425 with a fucking appraisal waiver. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What in the actual fuck? They are flipping pigeons, teeing like down the block.
Well, there's still no inventory.
So that like, but just think about that. That is nutso.
Yeah.
Now some people be like, "That's it. The market's gonna go." The market's not gonna go. It takes time.
It does.
Like when the market ended up crashing in 2008 or whatever it was, you know, there was a shift, and there was probably like a 2-year lead up from when it was like up, and like nobody was paying attention.
Besides that one dude that knew.
Besides that one dude that knew and bet against it and made like whatever. But yeah, so it's gonna take, to answer your question, It's gonna take some time.
Okay.
It's gonna take some time. So I have a question to you because you are, and a lot of people are interested in this kind of stuff. So whatever you want to share about it is cool. I would consider you to be the master of the cold call.
Okay, thank you.
You're good at it.
I'm pretty good at it, yeah. I mean, listen.
You're good at it.
Yeah, I was back in my day.
I
mean, listen, I can still get on the phone and do my thing, you know, if I need to.
Of course,
yeah.
You're not. So you have people doing it for you. You're not doing it anymore.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Do you miss the phone?
Sometimes, but listen, it's not like I'm running like a 100-man team. You know, sometimes I gotta get on the phone, help out, do what I gotta do and stuff like that. But I'm not sitting there.
Sometimes you gotta be the closer.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta be the closer.
Yeah, I'm not smiling and dialing. I think more my forte was really the in-person, face-to-face meets.
Yeah, because you were on the second level. Like you would get set up, and then you go there and you would charm them and
exactly. You know, I mean, listen, I came from a company that, like, when I first started, I had a call.
Yeah.
I had to do everything. Like, I was calling and then going on the appointment, charming them, closing the deal, all that stuff, right? And then eventually...
And then it changed.
It changed to...
So just talk to people about the cold calling process in general. Like, just, scripts, tone, numbers, getting over anxiety, call volume needed to do a deal, that kind of stuff.
So call volume needed to do the deal, I think it really just depends upon what type of leads you're calling, right? Because there are people that just put in a shit of leads and you're just calling from a dialer and it's just dialing.
Yeah.
I think for what we do, where we're more direct to seller, or and we try to meet in person and facilitate that way, I think, like, if you're asking how many calls it should be a day, I think you should,
Well, a couple things. So, the calls a day depends on your dialer setup. Like, are you manually dialing? Do you have a 2-line dialer?
If you're manually dialing,
yeah.
you should do anywhere between. If you have a lot of follow-ups and things like that, I'd say 75. But if it's a day you got a pound and you're trying to fill up that lead,
100.
100 to 120, easy.
Manually dialing?
Manually dialing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
assuming you have a good CRM where you're just clicking and going.
Yeah. Or
headset, not like.
I mean, listen, I use Podio, right? It's a pretty good CRM. I just had it built out, and we're still building it. But eventually, technology is going to help with all those things, right?
Yeah.
So
it already is. It's here.
Yeah, 100%.
But have you ever used like a predictive dialer or a 2 or 4-line dialer?
I have.
But you need to have like an insane amount of leads in the system to get that thing to work.
You do.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to go through them like that.
Yeah, you need like 20,000 leads.
At least 20 to 50,000 leads in there for it to be automatically dialing.
And I don't think there are enough houses. Depending on your geographic area.
Depends on your geographic area. Yeah. And it depends upon where your markets are. For you, there's not enough houses.
In Long Island, there's not enough to set that up.
There's not enough. But if you're doing several states.
Yeah, that's a different ballgame. Which is bananas.
It's not, though.
You're doing several states within a certain area. Like, if you were doing Ohio, Tennessee.
I plan to.
That's crazy shit.
I plan to.
There's a lot of dudes that are doing that stuff.
Yeah, because think about it. With the internet and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, you can, and nowadays homeowners are, everybody got a phone. You could, hey, you're in Mississippi, dude, I want to make an offer on your house. Send me the pictures for it. Send it.
But here's my thing, and this is why like Zillow failed and that new thing. You see that new thing coming out, open whatever the hell?
What?
Oh, you know how Zillow did the iBuying platform?
Yeah.
Some other company just decided to come into New York and is going to get freaking
smoked.
So
you know what? I know you have like a thing about this. I know you have a thing where it's like, you rather be in the market because then you get more familiar with it, right? All that good stuff.
No, it's not about being familiar with the market. Like, you have to understand the market because those guys are different. They never step foot in a house. Like, I buy houses without seeing them all the time, but I know the market. They don't understand, like, if you're coming in from Georgia or California or whatever, you don't understand that, like, North Bellport is not the same thing as Bellport down by the water. Yeah. A train track, a corner, a school district. If you don't understand that stuff, you're going to get smoked. More important, like Zillow, like, they didn't go into people's houses and inspect the construction of these things. Like,
yeah. So, I mean,
you can't buy houses with an algorithm is what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is, I think eventually, I think later on down the line, AI and technology is really gonna.
All right, that's a different ballgame.
But I think they were trying to get there too quick. There's still a personal aspect in purchasing a property or dealing with something.
When a drone robot shows up to your house, shakes your hand, flies through to inspect it, and then flies back to wherever, maybe they can do it then. And they have teams of analysts maybe, yes, that's a different story, but not today. Yeah. Today you have to know. Like, you have to know, you have to be, you have to smell it, you have to feel it.
Yeah. But you could still do that though, even from another state. You just got to make connections.
I'm not saying anything's impossible. That's different. Like, and it also depends on like what you're trying to do. Are you buying them yourself? Are you trying to unload it? Because like the majority of the investors, in my opinion, in the residential space are uneducated and inexperienced and they're not getting the returns they think there are, and they're overpaying for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, for all the stuff that I've done, I didn't really know how to really dig into a rental pro forma until I got a master's at NYU in real estate development.
Which was recently.
Yeah, so I graduated like a year and a half ago or whatever it is.
Which, congrats.
Thank you. That was cool. So, but until I went there and really learned how to like seriously underwrite a rental deal and all the deductions needed, like, bro, I haven't had a conversation with somebody in the residential space who understands all the deductions associated with a rental property. They're like, I'm making 10%. I'm like, you're making 4%, bro. You're making 4% and you don't even know it.
Yeah. I actually you ever heard of an app called?
You and I had this conversation. Like, what do you think? Should I rent it?
A house in Shirley. Like, I didn't know if I should wholesale it, fix and flip it, or if I should rent it, because I know Shirley's a pretty good rental market. I know you have a lot of houses over there, right?
I have a bunch of houses. Yeah, Shirley, Mass. But I was buying them at 50, 60, 70, 80,000.
Oh, you can't now. Oh, that's not happening now, dude.
No. Dude. Now a guy hit me up the other day and goes, yeah, I just bought this rental in Bellport for $225. I'm like, dude, I was buying houses in Bellport 3 years ago for $40,000. That's
crazy.
Different ballgame.
And not so long ago.
Not so long ago. 3-4 years ago.
I was just going to say 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Insane.
Trust me, I wish I was
But
a little that's the part where I was like, damn.
There's always opportunity.
No, I know.
But the thing is, like, so Bellport, like Mastic and Shirley, those things would always balloon and then deflate, balloon and then deflate. But they're never going to deflate to the same way again.
Nope.
You know why? Because the rents are too high. The rents are too high, and they're not going down.
Yeah, and the value is determined on the rent that you get.
Yeah. So just from a rental standpoint, like. Yeah, well, investors are always going to flood the market because it's going to make sense. Because if you're getting $2,500 for a Section 8 apartment for a 4-bedroom house in Mastic, that thing is never selling for $60,000 again.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it's impossible.
You know, when I was buying it, that house was 3 bedrooms were renting for $1,800.
Oh, yeah.
Different ballgame.
Yeah.
So back to the cold calling stuff. Like, so on average, how many calls does it take to close a deal? Because I think people don't realize, like, I made 10 calls. I don't have a deal. I'm like, bro, you need to make 200 calls.
Yeah, well, you see, it's the calls and then it's the contacts, right? So I think that you got to try to get at least, like, if you're going to make 120 calls, you should try to have at least over 20 contacts.
What do you mean by that?
Like, because...
actually have conversations. So you're making 120 calls.
You should have at least...
18% of those, or let's call it 20%. So
that'll be... should at least be it should be contact.
Yeah, and so you have a conversation with 20% of them.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of those that you can agree to actually do the deal? And then what's the percentage of those that actually close versus falling out because they disappeared or there was some crazy lien or, like, you know, one of the heirs didn't want to cooperate or whatever?
So I think that if you're over 50% of your appointment to, like, submission ratio, like getting a deal, I think that's pretty good.
I mean, I think that's insanely good.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So I think that if you go on, like, let's say 10 appointments, if you're really, really good, I think you should get at least 4 to 5 deals.
All right. So 120 calls to speak to 24 people to get 10 appointments?
Let's do that math. 120 to speak to 24. No. Not out of, okay.
Yeah.
So you're speaking to 24 people a day.
Yes, I know.
Right?
To get how many appointments?
Okay, so then we have to break it down more. So I think that you should at least get 15 to 25 appointments a month.
Let's reverse engineer.
Yeah, that's why.
Let's reverse engineer.
Because there's no way you're speaking to calling 120 people in a day and going on 10 appointments out of those.
So one caller making 120 calls a day.
120 calls a day.
How many appointments a week does he or she get?
Okay,
a good one.
So right now, the person who has the most appointments in my office has, I think we're at 15 for 17 appointments.
For the month?
For the month.
Okay, hold on. So 17 appointments divided by 4.3 weeks in a month is 3. Call it 4.
Okay.
So basically that's 1 a week. So let's do it like this. So basically people out there that are cold calling or thinking about cold calling, it is 120 calls a day times 5 days a week. It's 600 calls for 1 appointment.
If that's the math, then yes.
Yeah, that's the math.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So this is not like I called. Like, this is hard work. Like, what you guys do is hard work.
Listen,
you are pounding that.
You have to. And I think that people get, listen, the numbers aren't always going to be consistent, because then what happens is the more people you call, the more people you talk to, the more follow-up you have.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're in a when business. It's not a now business all the time.
No, exactly.
You know, this is how many deals have you gotten that you spoke to them last year and they're like, oh, hey.
Well, that's what it is. Because
Yeah.
for me, it's like this. You have to, when you start doing this, when you start calling or approaching people in any respect, whether that's a mailer, whatever it is, there's like 3 to 6 months at a minimum of like, go F yourself, I'm not interested.
100%.
So you have to fill the first 3 to 6 months, you're filling the pipeline with screw you. Like, all right, great. You told me to screw you. Great. Fantastic. Now I stack that up because I'm going to come back to you. And when I come back to you, you're going to be like, hey, like, you know what? Maybe it isn't, because something's going to change in their life. Because ultimately, all these people are going to go. Like, they're all losing their house.
And they're going with someone.
The difference is who's going to build a rapport, who's going to consistently follow up, who's going to get the deal. But you need to fill that, like, F you don't call me funnel.
Absolutely. So
that you can go back to them and be like, hey, remember, it's Carlos. You told me to go F myself. I tried to do it. It didn't work. You have any suggestions? What about your house? And then gradually you build that relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like the key to this in every business is follow-up.
100% is follow-up. And I think that if you tell someone I'm going to call you in 30 days, you call them in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So just so people understand, if you're thinking about cold calling, you're going to call 75 to 125 people a day, 5 days a week.
Easily 5. I mean, if yeah.
To talk to,
unless it's like you, the way you work 7 days a week, you can do it 7 days a week.
Yes, in the middle of the night, I'm calling the West Coast. To talk to 20 to 25 people a day, to have most of those people tell you to F yourself.
Absolutely.
To get one appointment.
The goal.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. It's 4 appointments a week. So it's 4. Yeah. So
yeah, you want to do at least
600 calls to get 4 appointments a week, and then of those 17 appointments, if you hit 50%, and that's
beastly.
So you're getting those in, but then I would argue that you get 50% of those, and I would argue that 50% of those deals fall apart in the process of getting to the finish line.
I would agree with you that you get 50% of those, but fall apart why? Because of you and the seller, or fall apart just because of the deal?
So of those, so you go out in those 17 and you end up picking up 8. I would say that probably about 50% of those 8 fall apart during the process for whatever reason. You sign the deal up, all of a sudden, one of the people doesn't want to be cooperative.
Then yeah, those are
you get a value that's off the wall, and you can't make, and you've done the BPO or the appraisal 14 freaking times, and the bank wants 700,000 and things worth 200.
Yeah,
like something happens in that process. There's like a second with some funky private lender who's like, screw you, I want 100% payoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't listen. Those are you can't predict those.
Yeah, but seller goes rogue, gets drunk, whatever, like decides I don't know you.
There's certain things that are harder to predict than not, but I think
signs a deal with 4 other freaking people because you're not moving fast enough, even though they have no idea how long this stuff takes.
Exactly. But listen, also,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the data part though, like the BPO, this, that, whatever, like that really depends upon like the data that you're putting and going after, right? If you go after the right data, like. But you shouldn't listen.
It happens, but it happens sometimes.
It does sometimes, but you can minimize that.
Yes,
because you do it enough times, you're like, all right, I already know this guy's not.
But at the end of the day, I still feel that you probably have close to a 50% fallout rate during the process once the deal is signed.
A 50% fallout rate? No, ours is not a 50% fallout rate.
You need to you have to track it over a certain period of time.
Yeah,
like you can't.
From what I've tracked now, it's not a 50% fallout rate.
What is the fallout rate?
It's probably, I would say we're over 70%, closer to 80% of closing from 70%. If it's submitted, there's like an 80% chance it's going to close.
Okay, but let's say it gets signed up, but it doesn't get submitted. How many of the deals fall apart from the sign up to the submission process? Have you had deals fall apart?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Okay, yeah.
So you get the guy, you go in there, you talk to him, yes, I'm going to do it. Cool. That's a deal. If it doesn't get to the finish line at any point after that, it falls out. And that's why I think it's really like a 50% fallout rate.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So the point is, you have to be calling like a savage, and then you have to be good. Like that's your best caller doing 17 who's like a ninja on the phone, who could steal your wallet through the phone line without you realizing. They're that surgical, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, I just got 2 more guys, so let's see how that goes too.
So yeah, it's not easy, and you need a certain temperament to hit the phones like that all the time, because it's like,
listen,
they're beating the hell out of you all day.
Listen, this is not an easy gig at all.
No,
at all. Like, you really need tough skin. You need patience. You need consistency. You need persistency.
Yeah, you need glowing skin. Dude, you need to never age.
You need all that.
You need to be a vegetarian.
Yeah. And going back to what you said, by the way,
do 75 hard.
You predicted this in 2018. Right, and it all started in 2019. I freaking left in 2019. So imagine what my life was like. I left thinking I'm gonna have a fucking great life going out on my own, and the pandemic hit.
No, and then everyone's like, I could stay here for free, so screw this.
Yeah.
But listen, man, I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah.
We went. I think we're at the point. Actually, there was a lot of gyms on this, but at about 45 minutes, I'm like, Scott's starting to nod off. I think people are like, they're tired of hearing us. So that's why I'm always like,
well, how long have we been on?
An hour.
Dude, for real?
Yeah, these things are awesome.
Well, you're going to cut this short, right?
No. We let it flow.
Oh.
We do the long we do the long form, then we cut it, we chop it up into pieces and put it out everywhere.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I never I didn't even realize the time flew that much.
These things fly.
Damn.
So
You know, we got to, okay. I think that, I guess, just flowing is good.
Yeah.
But then maybe a plan of action on a topic would be a little bit better now, or you think?
it depends on, you know what it is? It all depends on what you want it to be. Like
Yeah.
some people have a list of
Because
questions
you know
and they
what?
hit you with questions.
I think for us, it was kind of like we were catching up too. So
Well,
it's
what
kind of like, yeah,
that's
it's
what,
like,
see, people overthink the podcast. I'm like, bro, everybody needs to have a podcast. So let's say I was an investor. This is what people don't understand. This is perfect. You're not flipping houses in Orange County, bro. Let's say you're not doing it. It's fucking 2 hours away. You don't want to deal with it, right? Let's say I'm an investor in Orange County. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Carlos, I want you to come on my podcast. Let's shoot the shit. I've never met you before. You come on the podcast. We have a great time. Now we have a relationship. Who the hell are you going to call to wholesale your shit to in Orange County?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be like this elaborate, planned out, scripted thing.
I guess.
A
yeah.
podcast is the most selfish thing you can have. So what do I get to do now? I get to build a relationship with whoever's sitting in that chair. Now they'll always take my phone call. We're cool. 'Cause I'm a likable guy.
Yeah, sometimes.
We get to record it, which I get to put out in long form and short form
Yeah.
videos. I'm sharing it on your platforms. You're sharing it. I get more exposure to people that you know. You get more exposure to people that I know. You and I are now cool. It's like a win-win-win-win-win.
For sure. For sure. But I just,
Start a podcast.
You think I should start a podcast?
Yeah, especially you, because you're flying all over the place, going to these mastermind meetings, meeting these cool people in different states, which really allows you to build your network more.
And I think that enough people don't do that. And we didn't
nobody-
really
no,
talk
nobody
about
does
that.
that.
I know we got to end, but I think
Nobody does that.
I think more people should really go out there and go to, like, a lot of people think these are like pitch fest events and things like that.
Some of them are.
Some of them are 100%.
But the networking that goes on in
but
some
the
of these
network
things,
that-
well, that's
yeah.
the thing.
You know,
100%.
I love doing that. And I feel like, and we kind of like spoke about this. I don't, like, unless you put me up, bro, like, I don't know. I'm always like in the West Coast. I feel like all these things happen on the West Coast. Like, I think that there needs to be a more of a network here of people that are providing value to each other to help everyone win within that group.
Without a doubt. But New York is like a different kind of animal.
I know, and it's crazy to me because
Real estate has made strides recently in like the past 2 or 3 years. And I would like to take some credit for that, just for all like the putting this stuff out on social media. So the residential real estate space on Long Island is a lot more collaborative now than I've ever seen it. There is a lot of that going on.
Good.
But otherwise, no, you're 100%
yeah,
right.
and it should, because
It
I go to the West Coast and they're just like, hey, Charles, hey, what's your problem? Just do this. Call this guy. Like,
Yeah.
just value. And over here, it's like, oh, well,
It's like, oh, I gotta. I'm like, bro, it's not. The more you help other people, the more business you're going to do. It's
Yes.
just,
yes,
it's the way it is.
That's my biggest thing, and that's why I always go to these events. And it's like, I was sitting with someone, and I'm not I'm anywhere near these guys on stage, some of them. And like,
I would argue you know more than a lot of those guys on stage.
That some of them,
A lot
yes.
of those guys on stage are full of shit.
Listen, some
bro.
of them, yes, I do know more, especially in what I do. But I speak to a couple people, and a couple people came up to me. They, wow, you really helped me out because I gave them an idea what they should do and this and that. And they're like, I'm not even getting that from
No, they're
groups
not.
that I'm in. So it's like
bullshit.
Like you just said, the more you help people win, the more you're gonna win naturally.
Facts.
That's just the way of the universe.
If people are looking to follow you on social media or get in touch with you for any reason, how do they do that?
I'm not that big on social media, but real estate realestate.carlos on Instagram, and that's all I use. And I guess I gotta get on TikTok like you always preach.
Bro, I'm blowing up on TikTok right now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm blowing up. I got like 35,000 followers in the last like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Got a video.
They were
with two-
talking about that on the event. They were like, you gotta get on TikTok.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I don't
what's
understand.
going on TikTok right now. Obviously, I'm the handsome home buyer. You know the drill. Cat P, all that. 516-777-SOLD. We got the captain down there. Captain! 516-513-8838. And if you are an investor, you got to call Sal Rizzolo. Here's his number right here. If you are an investor, you got to call him. If you're a realtor, you got to call him. If you ever need a mortgage or know someone's going to need a mortgage, you got to call him. Here's his number right here. They do that thing where it just
I
pops
love
up.
that.
That's a wrap.